The first Dan talked about, and it's a longer-term vision, but it's one that I think we need to engage in now, and that's a discussion of how the profession is going to change. Not will it, but is going to change. Anybody who's followed any of the information coming out of the UK and Australia, you know that in those, particularly the UK and those jurisdictions, the practice of law has changed fundamentally, the way in which it's governed, the way in which it operates. There are private investors, equity investors in law firms. There are what are called alternate business structures, partnerships available now with non-lawyers, all sorts of ways in which the government of the United Kingdom has taken over self-governance and has decided that the consumer interest is paramount to allow different ways for legal services to be delivered to the public that are cost-effective and effective for them. It is a laboratory. It is an experiment. I suspect the majority of the ABS or alternate business structures will not be successful. But at the end of the day, my view is that sooner or later, that perspective is going to arrive here in Nova Scotia and in Canada. And so I would, to make the analogy to a tsunami, I'd rather be on the surfboard on the leading edge of it than in the boat underneath it. And that literally, from my perspective, is what happened in the UK. The self-regulator took their eye off the ball and got run over. Now, this isn't something to fear, and in fact, it's not about to happen anytime soon, in my view. Our government has not indicated an appetite to do that. But it'll be an important conversation that we're going to begin with our council this year, your council, and you're going to hear from me about as I travel around the province, and that is to begin to think about how we can get ahead of the tsunami of change in self-regulation, change in business structures, and particularly the change in the ways in which legal services are going to be delivered in the future. It is simply coming. It's a question of who is going to control that process, who's going to have a voice in it, and how is it going to turn out in the end. Now, my view is, although I'm a solo practitioner from a little town in northern Nova Scotia, it actually, to me, is a very exciting prospect. It gives me the opportunity to think creatively as an entrepreneur, and it gives all of us an opportunity to think creatively as lawyers and as business people. So engage in the conversation when the opportunity arises, read as much as you can about it, and become familiar, because I think in the end, whether it's in the next 2 years, 10 years, or 20 years, we will do a service to ourselves and our successors, the youngsters coming up, to have that conversation now and get ahead of the wave.